I think the problem United have got is that they're scared to give the keys to Amorim when he came in, which, in fairness, does lead to your point. There is an element of sympathy there because, in fairness, if you're Amorim, right, everyone's annoyed he never changed. He came into the job and said he isn't changing. So, if you're INEOS and you're sat there in the interview, and Liverpool walked away from Amorim, didn't they, with the concerns about his flexibility.
Yeah.
When INEOS took him in mid-season, I can't imagine Amorim was like, okay, I'll just work with the tools I've got. Hopefully it'll work. I'm sure there would have been assurances there from INEOS where it's like, we'll work with you to get you your players. If you're going to do that, you've got to give the guy 2 wing-backs who are great, or at least attempt. Now, United gave him Patrick Dorgu, who isn't really a good offensive player, and it was a panic 25 mil buy in Jan, and it's like, so if Amorim, I'm sure there'll be an interview at some point from him, I'm sure he will have his issues with, I'm not changing my system because you promised me players, and now it's coming out that January, as in the January right now, there is no money available. That's purely because they've pulled it away from him. We're not investing in your project anymore. So Amorim will go, you gave me one window, 3 forwards and a goalkeeper. Which 3 out of them 4 are very good signings, by the way. Sesko being the one that isn't. But I do get the point of, to go and get a 3-4-3 manager, you need to give him 600 million, not 200 million.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we've all gone, you've got to change your system. Amorim will sit there and go, well, that was never part of the plan. The plan was for me to come and I will be backed by the board to play my way. And now, apparently, I only get 3 players in Sesko, Cunha and Mbumo. And now everyone's going, you know what, scrap the 3-4-3. There's not enough money available. Let's U-turn on probably what was discussed a year ago. And I do have an element of that where he's getting battered by everybody online. And in press conferences, journalists are like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? The problem come when he did go to a back 4 and it was better, and then he went back to it against Wolves. That's when he made a rob for his own back. But in fairness to Amorim, in the lead up to the back 4 shit, he's going to go, I was never coming here to do anything other than what I did. And I was not backed enough. I didn't get 7 players, I got 3. Okay, Le Mans is obviously a goalkeeper. You know what I'm talking, outfield players is how he can influence his system. And he's going to go...
The Le Mans one wasn't his fault anyway, because he was left with 2 dodos.
So, yeah, Le Mans is a 4-3-3, 4-4-2, whatever system you play, you need Le Mans over Onana, because he's a competent goalkeeper. You get 3 forwards in a system where Amorim's like, okay, well, I need 2 midfielders who are workhorses. I need 2 wing backs who are good. I need a right centre back who can defend wide areas because Yoro can't do it. And it's like, and then INEOS are going, oh, hang on a minute, mate, we ain't got a treasure chest. There's 3 forwards. You try and do your best, pal. And Amorim has gone, well, look, I can't do it. And I think there's sympathy with it.
I think you've made some really good points there, actually, and I do agree. You know, if we're looking at an area where we can give this guy a little bit of slack, I think that's one area we can, because, you know, you mentioned about Liverpool, and this guy came in and he keeps making references in terms of being the manager and the coach, or whatever way around he says it. United knew the expectations, and they knew what they were signing up for here. Well, not United, but INEOS in particular. And if this guy, you know, we're all, well, you know, I'm not, but United fans in particular are all pressuring this guy to change the system. But did he see it as a point of, you know, I'm standing up for myself here because you want me to do this just to suit you? I came in and I made my expectations clear. You didn't give me what I wanted. So, look, I think there's a balance to be made, and I'm not making excuses for Amorim here. The guy is incompetent, and it has been nothing short of a shit show and the worst managerial appointment post-Fergie. But at the end of the day, Alex, I do put more blame on INEOS than I put on anybody else. Amorim came in and he wanted to do this. I think United INEOS have either, I think, underestimated what needed to be done, or they thought they could half wing it and give this guy, like you said, Alex, maybe a few forwards, and he's that much of a genius, he can work with it and maybe bypass all the other shit. I don't know, mate, but I really do think United fans need to start coming down on these soon. It won't be good enough for my club.
INEOS for me are the biggest issue here, because common sense should prevail, and that's where Amorim is always going to get this thrown at him, where it's like, you got the manager of Manchester United job. Whatever people say, poison chalice, it is still the biggest club, one of the biggest clubs in the world, and you were manager of it, or head coach, whatever, and you tossed it away over an ego thing with your system. But we were not a party to those conversations that he had with INEOS in November 2024, would it have been? Yes.
If he felt promises were made, etc.
So that's it. So did Amorim come in? Oh, well, we know Amorim didn't want to come in mid-season. That was one. And INEOS went, no, it's now or never. So he went, fuck me, well, it better be now because I might never get this opportunity again. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, what was spoken about with the squad? Because I play wing-backs. Okay, Diallo, I can maybe make work. What about left back? You're going to chuck me Patrick Dorgu in Jitan and another fucking project. And then you're going to ask me to build a back three out of a mishmash of Maguire, Ollie, Euro, Ten Hag, De Ligt, Ten Hag. You want me to just go, I'll just chuck the pieces in and hope it fits. Midfield's a massive issue. 2 guys over the age of 30, one being a number 10. Ugarte, crap. Mainu is the one where you could go, but Mainu don't fit the system either, if we're being honest. It may be a bit better than what we had, but it's not. Mainu doesn't scream midfield 2, does he? He's a midfield 3 player. So Amorim, I'm annoyed at the whole thing because I think that the failings were getting him in the first place, and Liverpool told you that.